Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome. So glad you could join me today. We're going to step into our virtual classroom and, explore a really wonderful piece of poetry together. So, where are we getting our lesson from today? Well, it's from a book many of you will know well, the Class 9 English textbook Bliss from our very own West Bengal board. And we're going to be diving right into the poem Hunting Snake. Now, before we start, I want you to think for a second. Have you ever been just walking somewhere and suddenly you see a wild animal? Maybe a bird or a mongoose, anything really, and it just makes you stop in your tracks? You just stare, right? That feeling, that sudden, quiet wonder, that's exactly what this poem captures. All right, so as you can see, our lesson for today is the poem Hunting Snake by Judith Wright. It's a really powerful and I think a truly beautiful piece of writing. So you might be wondering, what's this poem all about? Well, at its heart, it's about a very personal experience the poet had, simply watching a black snake. But, it's not just about watching. It's about seeing this creature while it's actually hunting, and all the powerful feelings that come up in that one single moment. Okay, now, before we jump into any poem, I always think it's a good idea to know a little bit about the person who wrote it, isn't it? So, let's take a quick moment to meet our poet. So, this is Judith Wright. She was a very famous Australian poet. But, and this is really important, she wasn't just a poet. She was also a very dedicated environmentalist. Now, why is that so crucial? Well, because so much of her poetry, especially this one, really explores that deep and sometimes complicated relationship between us, humans, and the natural world. Okay, class. Now it's time for the reading. I'm going to read the first part of the poem out loud, and as I'm reading, I want you to really try and picture the scene in your mind. Listen for the images she creates and just try to feel the mood. Sun-warmed in the late season's grace, under the autumn's gentlest sky, we walked and froze half through a pace. See that? Notice the calm, beautiful setting she paints for us. Sun-warmed, gentlest sky. You can just feel it. A perfect autumn day. And then, bam! Suddenly, everything stops. We walked and froze half through a pace. That peaceful feeling is just shattered. And why? Why did they stop? The great black snake went reeling by. Now think about that word, great. It doesn't just mean big, does it? It suggests something impressive, something powerful. And just look at how she describes its movement. Head down, tongue flickering on the trail. He quested through the parting grass. Wow, you can almost see it, can't you? The snake is totally focused, just locked on its mission. And then this line, sun glazed his curves of diamond scale, and we lost breath to see him pass. What beautiful imagery. The sun is hitting its scales, making them sparkle like diamonds. And look at the reaction of the people watching. We lost breath. It was literally a breathtaking sight. And then she makes us think, doesn't she? What track he followed, what small food, fled living from his fierce intent. We're reminded of the snake's purpose. It's hunting. There's a fierce intent here. A real life and death drama is happening, and the people are just silent observers of this raw, powerful act of nature. Okay, beautiful reading, but now let's do what we do in English class. Let's unpack these lines. We need to look really closely at the words the poet chose, because that's where we find all the deeper meaning. Let's start with this line again. The great black snake went reeling by. I want to focus on that one word she uses to describe the movement, reeling. What a fantastic choice of word. So what does reeling mean? Well, our word nest tells us it means moving in curves. It's not straight or stiff at all. Just try to imagine that fluid, flowing, S-shaped movement a snake makes as it goes. That is the picture the word reeling paints in our minds. All right, next up, head down, tongue flickering on the trail. This line is packed with great words, but let's look at two of them that give us a really vivid picture of how the snake is, well, sensing everything around it. Flickering and trail. So flickering, as you see, is that quick in and out movement. That's the snake's tongue, right? It's how it actually smells the air. And what is it looking for? It's searching for the trail, the path of whatever it's hunting. And now for this one. He quested through the parting grass. Look at that verb, quested. The poet could have said he searched, but she chose quested. It's a much stronger word, don't you think? Quested does mean searched, of course,
But it has a much more serious feeling. It makes you think of a knight on a grand quest, searching for something very important. And for the snake, this hunt is important. It's about survival. So that word, quested, gives the snake a real sense of purpose, even dignity.
And we have to come back to this line. It's just absolutely stunning. Sun glazed his curves of diamond scale. Think about the word glazed, like a shiny coating on a pot, and diamond scale. I mean, it tells us that in that moment, this creature looked so beautiful, almost precious.
And have a look at this. This drawing from our textbook is an artist trying to capture that very image. You can almost see the sunlight hitting those scales, can't you? Just like the poet described. It just goes to show how powerful words can be, creating a picture right there in your mind. So let's put all of this together. You have the calm day, the sudden appearance of this focused, intense hunter, the beauty of its scales in the sun. What's the overall feeling the poet is trying to share with us?
I think this next line is the absolute heart of the whole experience. And we lost breath to see him pass. Think about it. They didn't scream. They didn't run away. They simply lost breath. This is a reaction of pure awe, pure wonder at seeing such a perfect and powerful moment of nature up close.
And that brings us to a final thought I want to leave you with. In a situation where, let's be honest, many of us would have felt fear, the poet and her companion felt awe. So why? Why do you think that is? What does it tell us about how they see nature and the wild creatures we share our world with? Have a think about that. Thank you so much for your attention today.